All right, Sports Talker Nation, welcome back once again. It's your host, the G-Man, as we continue with our team-by-team NFL draft review. Today we're going to talk about those Detroit Lions. And here's something I never thought I'd say about the Lions in the Matt Millen era. They did the right thing. They had a really, really good draft. They were smart, they had needs, and there were players that were of value for those needs. They stayed true. They got some great value later in the draft. They did a really good job. I'm very impressed by what Detroit did. Hopefully, with some of their key offensive pieces in place and an improving defense, they're able to turn around pretty quickly. Always had a soft spot for the Lions ever since the Barry Sanders days, so I hope they do well for themselves. But let's start at the top. Sat still at 16 and took Taylor Decker, an offensive tackle. A little bit limited upside, but he's probably going to be a real solid right tackle for a long time. A good solid pick. I guess they could have moved up to get the falling Tunsil, but they didn't. They stayed where they were at, and they got the safe pick and sturdy, and I think they're probably fine with that. Their second-round pick is where I really think they made hay. I thought A'Shawn Robinson was a top 10 talent. I know in Alabama they play a scheme where he didn't really get after the quarterback so much, and that wasn't really his job. But I think he can. And aside from that, he's an absolute beast against the run, and even in pass, if he doesn't rush the passer or collapse the pocket, he will eat up two blockers and let the ends go after the quarterback. So I love A'Shawn Robinson. I think he's a steal in that second round. Graham Glasgow, not much to say about him. I know he had some off-the-field problems, probably caused him to fall. He didn't make my top 5 center list, but he certainly seems big enough and quick enough to be of help. Miles Killebrew, same deal. Detroit always needs defensive back help. Safeties don't go as high, so fourth round was a little bit high for him, but I understand them taking the need. They did have 2 second-round picks in Joe Dahl and Antoine Williams, a tackle and offensive lineman, respectively. Don't love either of those selections. I think Dahl probably has a chance to be like a swing lineman, playing some tackling guard. But again, trying to fill offensive tackle, you take as many darts as you can at the same position, and that's what they did, so I think that worked out real well. You move into the 6th round, and they had a ton of picks, and I think they did well to maximize the value here. They took a long snapper, which is a little odd to me, but I guess in the 6th round that makes sense. And, you do need a good long snapper. Long snappers make a big difference, so I'm okay with it. And Jimmy Landis. I like Jake Rudock as a quarterback. I think he's an NFL quarterback. I think he's been through the ringer. He started at Iowa, got shoved out of there, went to Michigan, played really well under Harbaugh. I think he's got a future in the NFL. I don't think he's a starter. I think he's a fringe backup starter a la Nick Foles, not skill set wise, but as far as where I think he's going to wind up. And Anthony Zettel from Penn State, I think he has some upside as well. I think he's a little undersized. I think he's not going to set the world on fire, but I think he can certainly help. And in the 7th round, they got Dwayne Washington. I think Dwayne Washington is like a Theo Riddick lookalike. I think they're going to be very similar. He was very productive in college. I think he should make that team. I like what they did. Overall, I give them a nice solid B+. A'Shawn Robinson, big potential steal. Glasgow, a bit of a reach in the 3rd round, but I understand why they did it. I think they acquired a ton of talent. I think they needed that talent. So it's always nice when what you need and the talent available lines up, and I think it did for the Lions this year. So here's hoping they can turn it around pretty quickly. And with that, this is your host, the G-Man, with his review of the 2016 NFL Draft of the Detroit Lions, and I am out.